Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we'll continue front page review with the Punch major headline. Lagos Calabar Highway project wasteful, corrupt, says Obasanjo. Also says Tinubu ignored protest against the 15 trillion naira coastal highway project. False 21 billion naira spent on VP's residence. In other news, Lagos unveils economic development update. Ledu 2025. I think anybody that runs business in Lagos should go and read it. Tinubu overrules Akode's panel. Backs Obasa to remain speaker. Natasha IPU can't summon Akpabio, says spokesman. We've taken that story already. Ondo killings. Survivors recount ordeal. Ayedatiwa pledges tight security. PDP crisis. Wike camps kick as Ikeme panel recommends Ironwood's expulsion. Okay, what news are we starting with?
Major headline. So the former president Olusegun Obasanjo has described the 15.6 trillion Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project as wasteful and corrupt. He also slammed the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for spending 21 billion on new office residence for the Vice President Kashim Shettima. He called it a misplaced priority and conduit designed to embezzle public funds. So that's Obasanjo now disclosed this in chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria Past and Future, where he painted the portrait and character of chief executive at both the federal and state levels. He said the book was also one of the 2 new books unveiled to mark his 88th birthday last week. Now, we know that the Minister of Works, David Umahi, had revealed that the 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will cost 4.9 billion per kilometer, and that the contract was awarded on a counterpart funding basis, not a public-private, yes. Not counterpart funding, yeah. Okay. So it says about 1.6 trillion has been released for the pilot phase, which is about 6% of the project. And it's starting at Eko Atlantic and is expected to terminate at the Lekki Deep seaport. Now, many prominent Nigerians, including the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, 2023, that's Atiku Abubakar, had questioned the government's decision to award the contract to Gilbert Chagori High-Tech Construction Company without competitive bidding. They said that the company belongs to our president's old-time friend and business partner. I said 2 years in office, that it appears that the game they are playing is just shortchanging over 230 million Nigerians. Everything is said to be transactional. The slogan on the street is my turn to chop. He said a lot of things, but the criticisms were not here. So there's no time. So I would like people to go and read the paper in the Punch. Yes.
All right. Other news. What's happening?
Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has assured residents of the state that his administration will strengthen security and equip security agencies to combat rising insecurity, particularly in Akure North local government area. So last Saturday, if you recall, there was what has been described as a deadly attack that left about 14 people dead, and there was also an abduction of 9 surveyors, but in Ilu Abo community. But they said that as a result of the abduction, it sparked protests. Hundreds of women came out and they were released. But then you have some survivors, talking about their reacting to the attack. So the regent of Ademekun community, Princess Kemisola Adilowo, has expressed her distress over the killings. She's calling on the state government to deploy security personnel to further prevent assaults. She says the attackers came to our village on Saturday, killed 14 people. I received calls that 2 more people had been killed by the herdsmen and they were threatening to kill me. That's why I'm crying out loudly to the governor. It's been reported that the governor initially, denied that such a thing happened, but obviously he has
evidence to back up.
Yes, with evidence now he's accepted and he's reaffirming his commitment to his people.
I have a story on a Lagos sweeper. I actually saw this video yesterday and it was one of the most compelling things I have seen. You could feel the anguish in her eyes and in her voice. A Lagos State street sweeper who works with the Lagos State Waste Management Agency has spoken out against alleged exploitation by her superiors, citing poor earnings and harsh working conditions. This video has gone viral on social media. The sweeper didn't reveal her name, but she accused her supervisors of shortchanging workers and failing to implement the approved salary structure. She alleged that despite reports that her salary had been increased to 85,000 naira since August 2024,
wow,
sweepers are continuing to receive 30,000 naira, and this has been ongoing for months.
Hey.
She said also that the workers were also left to bear the cost of their work tools without any allowance. She raised concerns over the delay in salary payments, noting that sometimes a monthly salary often arrives by the 13th or 15th of the following month. She said people should help us and ask these people. I'm very sure it's not blood running in their veins, because I don't understand why you are cheating us. We know you are our bosses. You sat in your office. You don't pity those of us working on the road. We buy brooms, no allowance. We learned that the salary had been increased since August last year. Still, we're still receiving 30.
No, these allegations need to be investigated.
Absolutely, and I hope that
wickedness,
this doesn't backfire on her in any way, because her face is out there.
But like, one person needs to make the sacrifice.
Yes, I know, absolutely.
But this is really sad story, and I'm hoping that the investigation will be public and the results will be seen by all. Justice must be done. Moving on to Daily Sun, major headline: nothing wrong if Rivers Assembly wants to impeach Fubara. That's from Wike. Minister hits governor for disrespecting Tinubu's intervention, says Pandef most unreliable. In other news, we've taken the story of Natasha, and but this is a different perspective, where women group seek end to patriarchal structure suppressing female leadership. And PDP women leader says going to the UN parliamentary was unwise and premature. Tinubu meets Lagos Assembly members, and 20 billion naira compensation. Igboho drags AGF DSS to Supreme Court, seeks reversal of appeal court judgment. Apex Court clears EFCC to probe ex-governor Odili's tenure, and alleged terrorism. New judge fixes March 21 for Nnamdi Kanu's trial. There's an interesting story. I don't know who has it. Abuja sex worker loses battle to legalize prostitution. Who has that story?
No,
I have it too.
Tell us the gist.
So, the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has dismissed a suit seeking fundamental rights for commercial sex workers in the Federal Capital Territory to operate without intimidation from security agencies of the federal government. So, throwing out the suit, Justice James Omotosho held that the commercial sex workers were even liable to be arrested and prosecuted for a jail term of 2 years under the criminal law known as Penal Code, as they have no legal rights to enjoy any known law or constitution of the Federation. So they have filed the suit initially to see how they can stop arresting, because we've been hearing stories of raiding their houses, arresting them, raping them and everything. So this particular NGO was the one that filed the suit, and by the time the judge was throwing out the case, I want to get the NGO that filed the suit. Alert, okay, that's Lawyers Alert Initiative for Protection of Rights of Children, Women and Indigents against the Abuja Environmental Protection Board. So by the time they filed the suit, the judge said, you people should be ashamed of yourself in the first place. They are supposed to be teaching these women to do better, to stay away from prostitution, to be able to have that, self-respect, self-love, blah, 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 blah. You are still asking that we allow them to go and sell their body. Quoted some parts of the Constitution that their body is not meant to be sold, blah, 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 blah. So kicked it out of the...
The other types of prostitution?
We should not, exploitation is what we're trying to kick.
How about those that pay for it?
The other types that we have.
How about those that pay for it?
Small girl, big girl,
those ones don't have a place where they stay.
I see.
It's hidden.
I see.
So if
Okay,
you
so
hide,
is that
it's
we should
okay.
upgrade the...
we should package it well now.
That's all we can take. I know you wanted to take the Natasha women and Patriarcha, but was sadly out of time. That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.